and they don't fill out the whole thing, you know? That would,
I know, it was 85 degrees where I was, Emily. 85. I want to talk to a manager.
where were you?
Just got on our cruise.
What'd you take? Where'd you go?
Princess, Regal Princess. We went to Cozumel, Costa Maya, and Roatan.
Thumbs up?
I've been all those places before. I took my girlfriend. He'd never been on a cruise. The second time we went on Princess, we usually go out on Carnival. And, you know, the energy level is just very different. The demographics very different. Princess is an older crowd. They roll up the sidewalks and cover the hot tubs at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
The best way I found to describe it is on Carnival, I'm deciding what I want to do. On Princess, I'm looking for things to do.
All right. That's fair enough.
But you know what? I was on a ship where someone else was cooking and cleaning. I spent 4 hours on the beach in Costa Maya.
And they brought you food
hammering
when you wanted
drinks and
food?
making friends. It was a good day.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's November 10th City Council meeting. If I can ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And we're going to be doing a proclamation for the VFW, so if some of the members could come on up here, and you can help participate in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll let you lead it off, Jim.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As I said, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and we do have a proclamation for our veterans. Those who choose to provide a time of their life to serve our country is much appreciated. I think every resident needs to be aware that they should always be proud of these individuals. Please step up here. Whereas each and every American veteran has had a significant role in shaping America's past, our present, and our future. And whereas our veterans have bravely answered the call to preserve the values upon which our nation was founded, and their service should make every American feel a deep sense of pride. And whereas the residents of Bonner Springs are grateful to the veterans who have faithfully served, and whereas we honor everyone who has proudly worn the uniform of our armed forces, and whereas our veterans deserve our lasting gratitude and respect. And whereas, though we cannot repay them for their many sacrifices, we can show our appreciation through whatever means possible. And therefore, I, Tom Stevens, Mayor of the City of Bonner Springs, do hereby recognize November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day. The Veterans Day we join with Americans across the nation in paying tribute to America's most selfless citizens. I ask all Bonner Springs residents to join me in focusing your thoughts of thanks to those who fight to protect our way of life. Gentlemen.
I'm going to ask, would all veterans present stand? And I know
Please.
we have a couple of
We've got to, please stand. Mr. Reeves, please stand up.
Bob.
Yeah. Good. And then Mr. Jenkins is going to also provide a little bit of background about the table that is set up over there.
Okay. This table is called the Missing Man Table. It's in recognition of the fact that we have many who are still unaccounted for from our various wars. The last count I had, there's like 70-some thousand from World War II and forward. And we have a number just of Wyandotte County and just Wyandotte County from Vietnam and Korea, a number that's missing too. But this table symbolizes that they're not here, able to be with us here today. And so the tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions and willingness to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember, the single rose in the vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who kept the faith awaiting their return and forever left behind. Remember, the yellow ribbon so promptly on the vase is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn by many who bear witness in their unyielding determination to account for every one of our missing. Remember, a slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember, the salt upon the bread plate too symbolizes of the river of tears shed by families and loved ones. Remember, the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember, the chair is empty. They're not here. Our lives are incomplete because they are not here to sit with us tonight. They were there for us. We are still here for them. Remember, in honoring them, each of them, all of them, we stand silently and face their table, the table where they should be sitting with us tonight. We stand silently in their absence. Remember. So if we all had a cup tonight, we'd just raise a toast to them, to the missing man. We flew with you and called you comrades. We will never forget your ultimate sacrifice. Remember. That's the missing man table.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it very much. And with that, if you run into a veteran, make sure you tell them thank you and appreciate their service to our country. Okay, we will continue with tonight's meeting. We have a swearing in of our new fire chief personnel, the deputy chief, Michael Rowe.
I, state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Michael Rowe, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties
as a public official of the City of Bonner Springs, Kansas. So help me God.
Big round of applause to welcome our new deputy chief, Michael Rowe. Okay, that thing brings us to citizens' concerns about items not on tonight's agenda. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the mayor and city council on the record in the open public meeting. No immediate action will be taken on these issues in the interest of fair and transparent city government. All issues will be investigated, researched, or addressed as necessary, and with the consensus of the city council placed on a future agenda. You will have approximately 3 minutes to speak. Is there anybody who wishes to address City Council tonight? Seeing none, we will go ahead and move on with our consent agenda. If a council member has a simple question about an item, they can ask before the mayor calls for a vote on the consent agenda. Otherwise, items can be asked to be removed if it warrants more additional discussion. On tonight's consent agenda is the minutes of the October 27th, 2025 City Council meeting. Claims for city operations, massage therapy establishment and therapist license for Judy Schneewise, Body Wise Massage. We have a public use request for the holiday lighted parade and mayor's tree lighting. 2025 mill levy services contract for the senior center services. And then we have 2 cereal malt beverage licenses, one for Walmart, number 486, and then for Discount Smokes. Is there any item the staff wishes to have polled? Is there anybody from the audience wish to have anything polled? Council? If not, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Reeves, a second by Mr. Shannon. I'll have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Gurley?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Wood?
Yes.
Lone?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, that brings us on to new business, the industrial revenue bonds for Compass 70, Scannell Building 3A, Lot 5. Staff?
Good evening, City Council. Megan Gilliland, Economic Development Manager. Tonight, I bring forth the motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the city to issue industrial revenue bonds for the Scannell Building 3A, Lot 5. This has been commonly known as the Steamboat Project over the last few years. You issued a resolution of intent to issue the IRBs in June of 2024, and the property is ready to be transferred to a trustee that will be beginning to equip and set up the facility. So it is time to go ahead and move the bonds forward. There is a representative from the project here, if you would like an update on the project, and then bond counsel is also here as well if you have questions.
Thank you. If they would love to give us a little bit of an update on the project, I think everybody in the council would appreciate that.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is John Lenio with CBRE. I'm a site selection consultant for Project Steamboat. The company has been making progress since they broke ground 1 year ago. The certificate of occupancy was issued in June of this year. The company, who will be revealed likely in early 2027 when the project goes live, right now is in the midst of installing automated material handling equipment in the facility. The installation plus the testing and calibration of a number of, if you can imagine, hundreds of robot arms filling orders will take roughly 18 months. So from now through, likely through year-end 26, testing and installation will occur. We're expecting hiring to probably commence in Q4 of 26, and go live in identity would likely be in early 2027. May I help with
Appreciate
any
that.
questions?
Okay, appreciate that update.
You're welcome.
Is there any of the residents wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the city to issue industrial revenue bonds and authorize the execution of a document in connection with the issuance of those bonds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Ms. Blanks. And we'll start with you, Mr. Shannon. Any comments, questions?
I don't know if you're at liberty to say anything. What kind of business will this be? And then when you said hiring, I'm thinking, wait a minute, with robots. So if you could explain that, I'd sure appreciate it.
So the company's business is pharmaceutical distribution. Hiring, so we will have people employed at the facility. The estimate is 120 warehouse associates, supervisors, managers, and technicians, working with all the automated equipment to fulfill orders that will be shipped to customers located in Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, I think 2 other states that I can't remember right now.
Okay.
The company's primary customers are hospitals, clinics, physician groups throughout that entire region.
Okay. And do you say when does the hiring take place? You said
Likely Q4 of 26.
Which, I'm sorry.
Q4 2026.
What's Q4?
Fourth quarter, excuse me.
Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Kipp? Ms. Gurley?
No questions.
No questions.
I don't have any questions.
Ms.
No
Blanks?
questions. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
No questions, thank
No more questions.
My only comment is you don't need to come back up to the mic. We appreciate you being here, and we're all anxious, waiting for that day when the name drops, and so. But we appreciate, and we're looking forward to you having your business here, located here. With that, then, if there's nothing else, I would go ahead and have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Reeves,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Gurley,
Yes.
Kip,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Long,
you. Yes.
Blanks.
Yes.
Motion passes.
On to item number 2, Police Department purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe. Staff?
Mr. Mayor, Billy Knapp, Chief of Police. The Police Department, as we continue to address our challenges associated with our vehicle fleet due to rising maintenance costs and mechanical failures, we were working with other department heads, and we found an opportunity to go ahead and purchase another vehicle this year, which we didn't anticipate doing so. The department in particular was the street department. They opted to not purchase a truck that they planned on purchasing. That made those funds available so the police department could potentially take advantage of that and purchase another vehicle and deploy it with the grappler system that you, as the council, have provided for in the past. We've had success with the grappler system on one occasion. Wish we had it out a few more times, and this will allow us to have it out more often to make it more available for other officers.
Is there any residents wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the police department purchasing a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe from Don Hatton Chevrolet and utilize a combination of remaining budgeted funds to outfit the vehicle with the grappler system.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Gurley and a second by Mr. McMahon, and we'll start with you, Mr. Reeves.
Yeah, the only question I've got is, who were the companies that bid on this? Do you remember?
The problem with police vehicles right now is whoever's got it's got it.
Okay.
So Don Hatton Chevrolet is the only one that we can find. We looked all over the country. Closest one I think we found was Texas, besides Don Hatton Chevrolet here locally.
Okay, and that's fine. That's a good explanation. I was just going to wonder if you bothered to check with Robert Chevrolet, but if they don't have it, they don't have it. If you're sending one out for bid, then maybe that.
Yeah, usually we try to go with like state contract, whoever the state contract holder is. But in this market with police vehicles, they're very hard to come by, so you have to be placed on an order list well ahead of time now.
Thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Banks?
Thanks for your work on this, Chief. When do you expect to have it in hand after outfitting?
Outfitting, they said they could start, I believe, January-ish. So it'll take 2 to 3 months after January. We'd hope March.
Thank you for working with Public Works on this. As of now, and I know this number evolves, how many other vehicles do you anticipate to replace in the next year?
We have 4 in the budget for next year.
Okay.
Those we ordered them. So the order blocks were about August when we had to put in the order. We had told them we wouldn't be able to take possession until January 1st. They're already in. So we're waiting until after the first of the year to take possession of those.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
Who will have the honor to drive this?
We have 4 officers right now that are trained with the use of the grappler. So it'll be in a combination of those 4.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much for all the information that you gave us very clearly.
Thank you.
You said you've had success with the grappler once. How many times has it been deployed?
We've attempted to deploy it 3 times so far, where we've been in a position. Part of it's luck. You got to have that car behind the car that we're chasing.
Right.
So, the first 2 times, just the cars were a little faster than we were, so we didn't get a good grapple on those.
And if I'm following the math right, the vehicle will be about $83,000 totally outfitted?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No questions. Thank you.
Chief, thanks for.
Thank you, Chief. I've got nothing else to add other than it's just glad we could add this to our fleet, continue, because I think anytime we can get away from doing pit and potentially put residents at risk or any other drivers at risk, it's always helpful. So If there's no other comments or questions, I would go ahead and have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Wood,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Blanks,
Yes.
Kip,
Yes.
Gurley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Chief. On to item number 3, School Resource Officer Agreement with USD 204 Program Expansion. Staff?
Good evening, Captain Heather Pate with the Police Department. Here to present tonight a second school resource officer expansion for the program. Go ahead and go to the next one for me. The goal of this program, we've briefly talked about it before, was to enhance our school safety. Primarily right now, our one SRO, Officer Watson, who's here tonight, if you have any questions for him as well, is covering both the Bonner Springs High School and the Clark Middle School full-time. So he's splitting his time between the two campuses. The elementary schools for all of Wyandotte County are currently covered by a Wyandotte County deputy who services Edwardsville and Bonner Elementary and the one in KCK, splitting her time between the three. We'll go to the next one. So basically what we're seeing right now is an increase in call stats for the schools. Between the two schools, the middle school and the high school, our arrest numbers have increased from 1 in 2024. We're at 7 so far this year. And our calls for service have gone from 107 to 160 at the time of this presentation was originally written at the end of October. So we're seeing an increased call volume that's stretching his time between the two campuses, making that a struggle for him between the two buildings. As much as he loves to run back and forth, I think he's probably just about had enough of that extra exercise program that he's working on right now. So the school district has also asked for us to consider additional programming for them to include educational programming on drugs and alcohol and violence. We've considered a program and have sent Officer Watson to training. However, at this point in time, he doesn't have the time availability to accommodate those education program requests. So we would like to see that program increase between us and the school district, and the second SRO would allow some availability for that. I think we've hit most of that. The education that we're doing right now and the program that we're wanting to implement is the LEADS 10-week program. Part of that would include a diversion program with the school district. Right now, the school is no longer doing a diversion program after they had some issues with the counseling program that they were utilizing. And they've asked for us to consider an education program as part of that diversion to allow students some education regarding drugs and alcohol and violence before they're reintegrated back into the school full-time. That's an example of the training program that would be for 5th grade. I'll go ahead and go to the next one. So the proposed solution is to assign 2 full-time Bonner Springs police officers to the school district, similar to what we're doing now with one. One would be for the high school, and then the second would be for the middle school. SRO Watson would stay with the high school, and the second would fill in for the middle school. The second SRO would also cover as a court bailiff for our city court for 2 days a month. Currently, that position is being served by officers on overtime. So they're giving up one of their days a week of their long weeks, so they're only taking 1 day off to come in and work that overtime. So it'll free up some overtime budget for us as well. We'll go to the next one. The cost-sharing agreement is what is presented for you tonight through an interlocal agreement with the school district. Right now, the school district pays 75% of Officer Watson's salary and benefits, and the police department pays for 25% of that. The second SRO position would be a 50-50 split, 50% through the school district, and then 50% would come from the city, 25% from the police department, and 25% from municipal court to cover that court bailiff position as well. The district would also cover any overtime expenses related to school activities. They pay for half of the training for the SRO, that are the training classes that are specifically related to SRO duties. And it'd be the same monthly billing cycle that we're currently utilizing. So the only change to that agreement is adding that second SRO. The rest of that contract remains the same. The implementation that we're looking for is the school board approved this same proposal last Monday, so it's before you all tonight for an approval, and then we would start officer selection and assignment. The vacancy would post almost immediately, hopefully in the next week, and then we would start that selection and assignment into December, having them hired at the beginning of January, I believe it's a January 10th start date is our estimation. So before you tonight is the interlocal agreement between the City of Bonner Springs and USD 204 for the assignment of a second SRO, which would begin in January of 2026. And I had to share my favorite picture of Officer Watson because it takes a special type of person to do SRO work. So we are going to advertise that as the planned assignment for the position as it opens. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Captain. Is there anybody from the citizens that'd like to address this item? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a contract agreement with USD 204 for the School Resource Officer Program, expanding the program to 2 officers.
Second.
Second.
So we have a motion by Ms. Blanks and a second by Ms. Long. And we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. McMahon. Any comments, questions?
You sure you don't want to retract that picture? No, you like it, okay. I mean, I know you. It's all good. This entails another vehicle too, right? And this was something that was thought out?
It has been. We would utilize what's in the fleet currently. That car can be assigned for an officer during the day, and then it would be able to be assigned for an officer at night as well.
Okay, that sounds good. I really don't have any, I mean, it's sad that we're having to do it because of the issues that we're having at the schools, right? So, but it's needed, and I'm glad we're going to be able to facilitate that position. So, yeah, thanks for all you do. Good picture.
Ms. Wood?
Thank you very much for serving the school district and for educating the kids about so much, so much.
Ms. Gurley?
Are there any officers currently on our staff that have expressed an interest in this position?
There are not currently.
And these 2 officers are also called into duty for after-school activities, sporting events, and things of that nature?
Yes. Yeah, they are contracted for 80% of the sporting activities to be at.
Okay. You referenced 7 arrests as of the end of October. Were those student arrests?
Yes.
That's unfortunate. Okay, thank you.
Any rhyme or reason for the increase? Is there a correlation or?
Drugs.
All drugs?
THC, vapes, marijuana, drugs, alcohol, minor possession, batteries. The uptake is drugs. That's the significant,
Thank you.
Well, that answered my question. Gave it. Anyway, thanks for all you do, and I hear good things about you, and that you're very well liked by all the kids, with the exception of the ones that, a few, but anyway, thanks for all you do too.
Ms. Blanks?
Thank you, Captain, on the presentation. Remind me, is there any way that you can use a small percentage of funds from the drug and alcohol fund or the fentanyl settlement from the state? Are those even like a small percentage, so it doesn't necessarily have to come out of your operating budget?
Potentially, we could apply for the funds through the alcohol committee. That fund is not expected to maintain at the current rate it has been. So that's the hesitation with doing that. It's just ensuring that the funding is there through our budget.
Okay, thank you.
Long?
Thank you so much for everything that you do. I don't have any questions.
Mr. Reeves?
You have the funds in your budget to support this?
As part of the 2026 budget, yes. This was presented as part of our original budget plan.
Thank you.
Captain, I will say this, is that now I understand why I hear such good things about Officer Watson at the school. Everybody seems to like him. I understand now after seeing that picture. But he does a wonderful job, and hopefully our second candidate will be as well appreciated as he is. And I look forward to also having that individual also acting as that court bailiff. With the way things seem to go in courts nowadays, it's good to have somebody here with a little bit of authority to make sure that order is maintained. So if there's no other comments or questions, I would go ahead and have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Kip,
Yes.
Reeves,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Blanks,
Yes.
McMahon,
Yes.
Long,
Yes.
Gurley,
Yes.
Wood.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Captain. On to item number 4, 2025 Facade Improvement Program Awards.
Good evening again. I seem to keep my streak alive of multiple items for city council agendas. In September, I brought to you a initial facade improvement grant program for small businesses in our commercial corridor for the city of Bonner. And this program is funded out of transient guest tax dollars. And you had $25,000 set aside for 2025 for awards. And I'm very pleased to announce that there was a huge reception to this program from our small businesses in downtown, some that I anticipated, some that I did not anticipate. And so at the end of the day, we ended up receiving $37,690 worth of requests. And because I haven't spent some money in my transient guest tax budget, I asked the city manager if I could come and present to you guys to allow me to spend about $13,000 over to support the requests that we received. The money is available in the transient guest tax, and there is a list in your council packet of the projects that have been proposed. They range from signage to painting, tuck pointing. Awnings were very popular actually through this program. And we also have one business that is proposing to do some pretty significant concrete and curb work that will address drainage, especially in the winter. So if all of these projects are funded, the estimated total value of improvements that will happen in the downtown is about $66,000. So you are almost doubling your money with this program. I already have multiple small businesses lining up for next year when we reopen the program in 2026. So I don't think it will be a problem to move this program forward. I stand for any questions that you might have.
Is there any resident wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to award the 2025 facade improvement grants in the amount of $37,690.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Shannon, a second by Ms. Blanks, and we'll start with you, Ms. Blanks.
Thank you for your work on this. I know you got the program approved in Q4 and then got going pretty quickly on it. And Megan and I had a chance to sit down to go over these applications, and we were very surprised at some businesses who recepted really well to this and are participating. One particular business owner owns a few buildings that plans on doing some pretty significant work. Thank you for coming back. In my opinion, I told Megan, if she has the money to spend, great. And I don't really want to tell any businesses no that have taken the time to fill it out. And then that just pushes them into next year when people are going to probably want to start planning their projects sooner than later. So I'm in full support of this. I'm just elated that the success of this program happened so quickly to the point of you're looking to expand it. So this just strengthens our community and our downtown business district. And it's just such a win for the growing tourism that we're going to continue to see in our community. So thank you.
Just anecdotally, when I sent out the letter to all the businesses that were eligible for the program, I had multiple businesses call me and say, wow, first of all, thank you for doing this. It's greatly appreciated. Second of all, they said, oh my gosh, I hadn't been downtown in a long time, and I realized I needed to paint my building, or I really needed to have tuck pointing. So it created an avenue for conversation with business owners that I've never talked to before. And it also is creating a lot of goodwill amongst the business owners, because there's some that, are coming to me and they're saying, like, we really need to have this, brick worked on or something like that. But it's very difficult to do, especially in the current economic climate that we have. And then I'll also say that several of them said this was a perfect time to launch this program because they see the apartments that are going on and they see all the turnover and the increase in interest in our downtown. And so they don't want to be left behind. Specifically, one of the building owners who has had to, unfortunately, had to take over all of the properties for his family is really excited about the revitalization in downtown, and he really wants to step up the game of some buildings that have needed work for decades. So really excited to have that relationship building going on with them.
Anything else, Ms. Blanks?
That's it. Thanks, Megan.
Okay, Ms. Long?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Reeves?
My only question would be, or comment is, I'd like to see the name of the business on the sheet that I'm looking at. Is there a reason we can't have that, privacy or something? Or?
I just did the property addresses. I can go down the list right now and tell you who they are if you want. 204 Oak is CST Suites. They've done a lot of signage and awning work. 222, 224, and 228 is Third Space Coffee, Small Hinge, and the Acorn. They're all owned by one property owner. And so we split it up by business that way. 110 West 3rd is, it's the Allegro building. They have, I guess that used to be an auto dealership, and there's never been proper curbs put in there. And so he's looking at doing curb work and then extending the drainage that currently comes out on the sidewalk and burying that underneath the curb to go into our storm drains. And then 107, 109 is John Bonnie, I believe is how you say his name. He owns both of those. There's businesses in the lower level and then apartments above. He is doing aluminum siding, or aluminum awnings instead of cloth awnings because they last a lot longer. 300 Oak is Karen's Country Kitchen awnings as well on both sides of their building. And then 117 to 119 Oak is where the Red Fortune is and what used to be Southern Girls. That's a DePetrie property. He's really looking at improving the facade of that. There's a lot of room for improvement on the exterior, and he's trying to get a tenant into that small 700 square foot area next to the Red Fortune. Just as a side note, he's come in to work to get his building permit to replace those decks on the back, which that is not something that's eligible for the facade improvement program because that's back exterior. But he's going to be putting a lot of work and effort into those buildings.
Thank you. I thought that was interesting too. There, several of them are doing awnings, and we have an awning company right there. So hopefully they'll be using him.
We have an awning company in Bonner?
Aluminum siding. He does. He can do awnings.
Okay. Yeah, I know that a couple of them are using KC Tent and awning. That's been one that's done a lot of awnings, but we did have all the businesses provide construction estimates for the work that they'll be doing, which helped us come up with the private investment partnered with your public dollars.
Thank you.
Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, Megan, thanks. Timing's impeccable, right? With the apartments do we know, not to put you on the spot, roughly when next year those apartments should open up?
Sure. They're planning June 2026 for the apartments to be open and leasing. Actually, we get a lot of calls on a weekly basis asking about the apartments on Oak, and then also now the senior 55-plus apartments up at Kansas Avenue and 134th Street. So there is a web page out on our website that's always been there. I just updated it so that when staff got phone calls, there's links out there for people who are inquiring about wanting to live in those spaces.
So, thank you for that. There's still some other businesses that I didn't see on the list. There's, one is Southern Girls. I think I hate to bring up names, but I didn't see Kobe's on the list. Are they interested in?
They did not apply. They didn't respond at all to the email.
And just for clarification, this money's not required to pay back, is it?
No, it is a
No.
grant program. Most of them are using some additional private dollars to complete the projects, but no, they could get up to $5,000 to complete projects that does not have to be paid back.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, and some of these have already made an effort. I know Amy's done some stuff. I think she did last year or earlier in the year, right?
I think
To
Amy
kinda
has done some, but
just
the
spruce up
overall buildings needed some tuck pointing and painting.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. To me, I feel like they should all be on board, and CST is really kicking it. I mean, what a fantastic owner group there that's doing that. What they've already made some waves just being in our community, and they're super excited about. And they're trying to bring some activity to the evening hours as well, which is really good. So
It's an
anyway.
excellent segue into the fact that this Thursday is Evenings on Oak for November.
Yeah.
Santa will be in town, and
Food trucks, I guess.
I do not. I asked the businesses if they wanted to do a food truck in the winter months. The problem is it gets so dark early that it gets kind of tricky for food trucks, but we're replacing food trucks with other activities like Santa and holidays and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm trying very hard to, and Emily is as much of a focus in this as well, but she and I are trying very hard to get all the businesses to stay open later on that second Thursday and participate and promote the events and things like that.
Sure, and just a final thought, and I guess I could talk about it in our reports, but the lights look good around. I think I saw Blue putting lights around.
I asked Public Works to have all of the holiday lights done by November 13th for that's what we're kind of considering the kickoff of the holidays in downtown Bonner. So Public Works got right on that, and they were, I think, done before Halloween. But they have to have a little time to test things and make sure everything's ready to go. So, and then yes, Jim Ballou is a contractor that we use for Front Street. And he checks all the lights on those poles and makes sure that they're ready to go. And then in our contract, we also will change out those lights after the holiday season. So we kind of refresh it a little bit. Fingers crossed if the Chiefs go into the playoffs, we kind of go Chiefs colors. But yeah, Mr. Ballou does portions of the lighting, and then Public Works does a lot. I think I've spent over the last 2 years, we have a little bit of money in the budget, and we've bought some new like LED light displays and things like that. So we've tried to update those in the last years.
It's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Woods?
No questions, but thank you very much for such a complete report.
Thank you.
And it's sort of like, whoa.
Yeah, I think that some of the improvements will be very dramatic.
We need dramatic.
Yeah.
I'm excited that so many people are interested and on board with it. It's going to be great. Thank you.
I think it's a great example of a public-private partnership that's going to have, immediate impact. Are they one and done, or can they apply the next year? How's that work?
The way we wrote the program is it's an every 2-year process. So they can come back. Now, we did allow it where a business could apply and a property owner could apply in theory. And so a business owner could come back and do like signage or something like that in the off year, in a second year. I will tell you right now, for 2026, I'm already at probably, if I had to estimate it, $20,000 in requests that people are kind of gearing up and getting ready for. So we have 25,000 in the budget. We'll see how far we can make it last and go. But a couple of those projects that are proposed for next year are, again, projects that probably have been talked about for decades but haven't, had just this little bit, kind of just seemed to push people towards doing the updates that needed to be done.
Thank you very much.
Megan, I'm so proud of you. You have just done so many wonderful things for us, and you're so talented, and
Thanks.
and really appreciate how much you do.
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot
I'll
going on
second
in our
that.
downtown. Oh, thank you, guys.
Third.
The only thing I was going to say is that I think it's important to make sure we understand that this comes out of the transient guest tax. Those dollars are very limited in what they can be spent on. It has to be tourist related, so it's not coming out of the general fund. I think it's a great investment within our downtown, especially considering the article, that Facebook article that Ms. Gillen tagged me on this weekend. And if you don't mind, I hate to put you on the spot, would you like to kind of tell a little bit about that and how it plays into what we're doing here?
I just saw a post. There's a Facebook, I think I'm going to call it a page called Revitalize or Die. And they kind of talk a lot about Main Street downtown programs. And I just saw it on Saturday morning, and I tagged any of the city council members that are friends with me on Facebook. But essentially, it just talks about how important it is. Yes, we do need to invite people into our communities. We need to grow businesses. I'm 100% supportive of the big projects, but it's also about creating human interaction and connectivity with people in your communities. That really is what makes people stay in an area and want to be a part of the community. So I just think that, we just need to make sure that we're doing both the big projects and the small projects. And it's just really important, because I think a lot of people, especially in the digital world that we live in, sometimes don't get out of their doors and get to know their neighbors and things like that. And that's why having a downtown is so important, because you're inviting people to an area to gather and create memories and things like that. So I guess that's the best synopsis I'll give of that article.
Yeah, it really comes down to is we're investing a little bit to make sure that people have pride in their downtown.
Yeah.
Because when you have pride, you love your community and you want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And you want to participate in it. So is there anything else? Otherwise, I would go ahead and have the clerk go ahead and record the vote.
Voting on a motion to award the 2025 facade improvement grants in the amount of $37,690. Wood?
Yes.
Long?
Yes.
Blanks?
Yes.
Kip?
Yes.
Reeves?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
McMahon?
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Gilliland. And with that, that takes us on to reports. We will go to the city manager's report first.
There are a couple things in the written report that I wanted to point out. One is the chimney repair. We did get the first claim check from the insurance company and the estimates from the contractors. And we're currently working on collecting all of the bonds and everything we need for that project. But they are planning to start on the repair the week of December 1st, pending any winter weather we may get, but they are planning to get started this year. On November 20th, we have 2 ribbon cuttings. One is at 9 a.m. at Quick Trip, the new Quick Trip, and the other is at 2 p.m. here in the lobby over here for the DMV satellite office. And then I just wanted to let you all know that we were notified that the striping crew will be out tomorrow, so the wiggly lines that people are talking about on Facebook will be fixed. That's all I have.
Is that it? With that, then we'll go on to council items. And Mr. Shannon, we'll start with you and the striping.
Nothing here.
Ms. Wood?
Nothing here.
Mr. McMahon?
The, Megan left. It's fine. I was going to ask what impedes trying to get, and maybe Emily, you can, any of you can respond if you want. The vacancy, the land, you know, my wife is asking me why we can't have like a Raising Cane's or something over by Sherwin-Williams or Starbucks or something like that. I know a lot of focus goes on Oak Street, but that's a busy area. And, you know, it'd be nice to have, what are the challenges of trying to get like a restaurant?
The last that Megan and I looked into it, when we reached out, well, I say we, Megan reached out to Old Dominion, who owns the land, to see if the chamber and tourism could put out letters of interest to specific fast food places or retailers. They told us to hold off, that they might use the land otherwise. This was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. So we were going to follow up in the new year.
See where they're at.
Because we have a list of businesses that we would like to reach out to, particularly, you know, Raising Cane's or Chipotle, Freddy's, Chick-fil-A, Culver's, things like that. But we were just essentially told to hold off.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. When is the tree lighting?
December 13th.
Okay. And I mean, I love you guys, but that just seems a little late. And I know, what's that?
So the reason it's that date is because December 6th, the Ag Hall has stuff going on, and then Lawrence has their huge Christmas parade. And when we've done it on a competing night with Lawrence, everybody from the community is like, sorry, we're going to the Lawrence one. So our committee, which is the city, the chamber, Von Trent, and BPW and Parks and Rec, made a choice last year to move it back a weekend.
Okay.
And then we had, I mean, last year was the biggest turnout we've ever had because of that.
It was good and it was cold. I just think, yeah, at some point, you know, Bonner is its own entity, you know, place and stuff like that. And I realize there's other activities, there's everywhere else, but I don't know. I love the support that the good folks at Bonner and stuff. And your network is bigger than my network, so, and I respect that. But I just think that's about as late as we want to push it into the
I
years.
think if we waited to turn on like all the lights in the town, it would be too late. But not to knock the mayor's tree, but just keep
Not
in.
my tree, it's the community's tree.
But it's just that specific tree that is yet to be lit, and then it does stay on until like the first week of January. But I understand what you're saying. It's not ideal, but when we just looked at the dates, we didn't really want to do it in November because then it's like, is it, you know, we don't want to overlook Thanksgiving, and is it starting too soon? And then, yeah, that first weekend in December is just really, really tough.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, just something to think about. And when is Quick Trip again? Can you say that again, the ribbon cutting?
The 20th.
November 20th at 9 a.m.
9 o'clock, okay. I still want to, there's a few of you here. I encourage everyone to continue to eat here in town I mean, you can get breakfast, lunch, support our locals. I've been throwing that out there at the last meetings, couple meetings that we've attended, so I think it's great. I know they love it when we come in and just share who you are and what you do, and the owners are so easy to get along with and talk to, great people. But that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon. Ms. Blanks?
I have a few things. This week, we have a morning mingle at 10 and 2 on Thursday from 8:30 to 10:30 with the chamber. And then our holiday open house kicks off in downtown with evenings on Oak on that same night from 4 to 7. And then I do want to thank Public Works for being so on top of getting Christmas up this year. I know the community always, that is one thing we can all agree on in the community, that we love and enjoy the lights up being as long as possible. I also just want to make note, I know food insecurity is on the rise, which has affected our community, and I just want to remind people that if you need resources, we have several available. Von Trent Community Services, Jerry Lee Jarrett Life Center, Edwardsville Harvesters, and the First Christian Church. And then if you have students, I know the high school in Edwardsville Elementary also has programs. And then Von Trent has opened up their Christmas basket applications where you can get a turkey ham and all your sides and desserts donated to you and your family based off your family size. And then Jerry Lee Jarrett Life Center has coats and other cold weather gear available for kids, teens, and adults. So thank you to everybody who has donated to that program. And then once we get closer to December, I'll have more to announce. But I just want to take a moment to say that the world is really deafening right now in all forms of politics and just social atmosphere. And just like Megan and Mr. Mayor touched on, is I just encourage everybody to just really focus on their community and what's in their control. And I just will always encourage everybody, if you can donate just 1 hour of your time once a month, you'll not only make a huge impact in your community, but for your own mental health as well. I think we always see the broad view from so far away, and some days seem incredibly dark and dreary. But right here in your own community, there is so many good things happening with so many great people on both sides of the aisle. And I think that Bonner does a pretty good job of putting politics aside and just doing good for our own people. So now, especially once we enter the holidays, people are just having a really tough time. So if you have the time and the mental capacity, which I know many of us in this room already do, but sometimes people listen to these meetings online, or I like to think, but just go out and try to do good this holiday season and make an impact in somebody's life. And just thank you to city staff for all the hard work that you guys continue to do. I appreciate you.
Ms. Long?
Emily, I always have to go after Emily, and she covered some of the things that I was also running down to cover, but really want to extend a lot of gratitude to the organizations who are providing food, because as Emily mentioned, the economy being what it is, I have seen an increase of people coming to me for resources, looking for a lot of different things. So also remembering Feed His Lambs is another organization that does weekend meals in the Bonner and Edwardsville School District, as well as for senior citizens and individuals living in the high rises. Any support that these organizations can get monetarily or through volunteers is greatly appreciated. I know I'm heavily involved in a lot of organizations within the community, and it gets tiring. Like, we need more people. There aren't enough people to cover what we need to do, and the need is really, really great. The other thing that I wanted to mention too is that the organizations who are providing these services spend, their hours out in the cold, giving food out for people. So wherever you can, get out, volunteer, do that. Cram the Cruiser, also I want to call out, because a lot of folks are already talking about how they may not be able to have Christmas, not just food-wise, but also provide for their kids. And regardless of where you stand on whether or not kids deserve toys, they deserve toys, and they deserve to have a good Christmas. So thank you guys for always doing that event. I know last year was really touching, some of the folks that you guys were able to reach. Have also heard from some folks where just basic, again, the economy, the food prices and everything like that, people aren't able to afford basic hygiene items and things like that. So anywhere you can donate, please do if you can. And if you can't, please give of your time, because what else are we here for? Thanks.
Mr. Reeves? All the comments that I've heard here, thank you for everything that you guys do. Comments that I have heard is about our street program. People looks like they think it's a great, what we've been doing with the streets and the upgrades that we've had. Even out on 134th Street, the center line there, I appreciate that, even though it's crooked. I saw some comments about that. It's fine with me. But yeah, It looks great. These streets, we're doing a good job of getting those fixed up, and I like it, and I know a lot of other people seem to too, as they comment to me. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
I have one more thing.
You almost
Sorry.
forgot.
I actually have to disagree with you, Emily. I am one of the people that does not like Christmas lights until after Thanksgiving, so I'm going to be the Grinch in the group and say, y'all are doing too much. We can wait to light that tree, and we can wait for those lights. I'm done.
It's the turkey lights. That's right. So
It's something.
I've got nothing else really to add this evening. I think we've covered a lot tonight. So unless somebody else has got something to add, I would go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved at 8:29.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Gurley, a second by Ms. Blanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting's adjourned.